I have a great idea, but I'll never do it. It might happen. Sure, the monkeys might fly out of my butt. I don't think so.
I don't see it happening.
Hey, everyone. It's your boy, John.
Hey, and your girl, Louise.
And you're listening to I Have a Great Idea, but I'll Never Do It. We took a brief pause. I know it's weird to say that because it's not like we're on a schedule. It's not like you are expecting these episodes to come at a certain time and day. At the beginning, that was a different case. We kind of did it every other week, but life is busy and crazy, and Louise went on a little vacation.
I went on work and then vacation, and then previous to that, John and his wife created a human, and that takes time.
I'm just talking like between the last episode and this episode.
Okay.
There was just a little vacation time.
We
didn't have
vacation.
another kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, oof.
Right.
So quick.
Yeah, that would have been impossible.
Kim possible.
Biologically speaking. So, Louise, what's new with you?
Oh, nothing much. I just got engaged.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
It is happening.
Totes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously. This is my public congratulations. All the
Thank
other ones have
you.
been private.
Thank you. 8 years in the making.
Yeah. No kidding.
Not
No
quite
kidding.
8. Not quite 8, but it was perfect, and I don't know. I can't wait to tell you the full story, but it was perfect.
All right. And I know that this is now going to be opening. By the way, if anybody hears my dog Daisy slobbering in the background, many apologies. She's just looking at me like, you talking about me? You talking about me on your silly little podcast? It's like, yeah, I'm talking about you.
I love that she's
so-
aware of what a podcast is.
She is really hip. She knows what's up. She's teaching me new slang every day.
Love it.
You know, 9-year-olds, they're just like with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was I just thinking though? Oh, ideas. So now that you have like this new life thing going on,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to unlock a ton of ideas,
Ooh, okay.
right?
I mean,
I feel like for me, it's like when there's a big change, it's like, oh, this is a new thing that I'm exposed to, so I'm going to have a lot of thoughts about it.
oh, okay. I can't wait for those ideas to flood in.
Me too.
I mean, that would be like really, sometimes you just like ideas are like just blowing in the wind and you just pick them out. And other times it is a drought.
Oh, might I remind everybody of a few episodes back when I had like 0 ideas.
I mean, I've got some good ones for this episode, but I can't wait to have even more.
Well, of those real good ones, what's your favorite?
Okay. My favorite is probably an app because, hey, that's like my specialty is I need an app for that. I feel like that's how this podcast got started. We were just like apps on apps on apps. But I, being on vacation, did not want to eat at a Taco Bell or a Wendy's or an Applebee's.
Right.
I want there to be an app when you search for only mom and pop places.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I want. I want to go to a place and go where the locals go.
Yeah. You want the authenticity.
Yes, because sometimes I'm hopping on Yelp, I'm hopping on Foursquare, and they're giving Panera Bread 5 stars and a 9.0 rating, and I'm like, on what planet?
Do you have a name for this app?
Nothing against Panera, because if I were away from it for a really long time and saw one, I'd be like, ooh, I know what I'm going to get because I know what that is, chain thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same
Right.
way about Starbucks. It's like there's a comfort because you know what you're going to get. But at the same time, no, I don't have a name. Probably just mom and pop places.
I mean, I did just say a word. and then I
MPP,
was
yeah,
like,
you know
ooh.
me.
What's that?
I said
M&P?
MPP. Yeah, you know me. Mom and pop places. I don't know. What was
well,
the
I
word?
did just say the word authenticity, but if you make like the city at the end of it, like emphasized authenticity.
City. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yes.
Just saying. Yeah.
Yes.
But I hear you. I never like unless, and this is like my like as a person with a dietary restriction, I know at least that a place like Taco Bell, I know what to order there. Whereas like mom and pop places can be a little iffy unless you're like you really know, unless you really trust them.
Sure. No, that makes sense. I didn't even think about
like
that.
like if I'm in like a weird place where it's just like, ooh, nobody passes through here, huh? That's when it's like, oh, good, a Taco Bell or a Panera.
I see. I didn't even think of that part.
But yeah, no, but if you're in an area where you know that this stuff exists, then you want to search it out.
Yeah. And I mean,
Or it's like
we
just
could
to
put a
see in the
filter.
off chance.
Yeah, we could put a filter on that app that says like vegan eats.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a better way. Because I was road tripping a little, and Chris and I landed. What time did we land? Maybe like 11. And we were like, we should drive a little ways away from the airport and then find lunch and like sit down at some cool place with a cool view of the desert or whatever. And it was just like Del Taco, McDonald's, Wendy's, Del Taco. And I was like, get me
Del Wendy's.
Get Del
McTaco.
Wendy's. McTaco. And I was like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why they have them in places like that.
Yeah.
For the
me
people who
too.
just like need to know what they're getting into, don't have time to take a chance on something mysterious.
Right. Or when you go to places that are not super densely inhabited, you come across car wash, grocery store, laundromats.
Right.
And we're so, I mean, if that's, then you got to eat there.
Right.
Because
Sure.
that's the only thing for 90 minutes. But,
Well, then you can play the what's going to be in the vending machine game.
there you go. I think at
So-
that place I ended up getting Sour Patch Kids, and I was like, I'll eat these.
Oh. Yeah, right?
My other option, I think, was a cherry pickle.
What?
That's what
I've
I
never heard of a
said.
cherry. What's a cherry pickle?
Just a pickle in like cherry brine. I don't know. I was talking to the woman at the cashier. I was like, are these like beet cucumber pickles? And she goes, no, that's a cherry pickle.
Wow.
Nonchalantly.
Oh, no, of course. It's a cherry pickle. What else would it be? Yeah. I don't have any app ideas or anything that's easy to bounce off of from there, but I do have one that is, well, it has the word city in it, and we mentioned city before, so let's go with that.
Do it.
So, all right. Everybody that I know of, and restaurants and stuff like that, in the bathrooms, there is a liquid soap pump. Unless you're like a bar soap, I don't know, patriot, and you're just like, I must like only buy the bar. I'm a purist when it comes to the bar of soap. But like, you know, if you know that you have people coming through that would want to use liquid soap, that's a common thing. Refilling liquid soap pumps is usually not that much of a hassle, but some of them are. I have one that's built into my kitchen that goes right next to the sink, and to get to the place to change it, it's like you're kind of going in blind. You are just kind of fishing around, trying to find the thing, and then you unscrew it, and then you like fill it, hope that you don't fill it up too much, or else when you put the little straw back in, it's going to overflow and ooze out. And then when you get it in there, you have to really do the like weird yoga acrobatics to like screw it in just right. So what I'm saying is we need a citywide soap supply, like tap water,
Nice.
where it's just flowing through the pipes. And everybody has it.
I like it.
You just have it. You can never run out.
Is it called City Soap?
It can be. You just named it.
All right.
Done. Yeah, I don't know. I just like kind of got really frustrated with with having to refill certain soap dispensers. I know that it's such like a wah boo hoo kind of thing, but I mean it could be good. And also, like, look, if you want to get fancier with your soap, by all means, get the fancier soap.
Yeah.
But if you're cool with like, you know, the decided upon soap supplier,
Yeah.
great. You don't ever have to change the pump again.
Yeah. I also think make it like hypoallergenic and unscented, and then it can just be in
Sure.
like all the restaurants, all the bars, all like everywhere. It's just there. Because how gross is it when you go to like a public restroom and there is no soap because the
Right.
pump is empty? Like, gross.
Yeah.
Also, I will say I love bar soap, but people could steal that.
That's true. I mean, I
I
don't
don't know
know what
why
the
they
like
would.
rules are for restaurants or public restrooms. But that seems like you never see that.
No. Yeah, I feel like it's because maybe we used to have it and then a bunch of hippies kept stealing it. I say we used
Why
to.
hippies?
Well, yeah, I was going to say I say we used
No,
to, like referring to the
people who are-
70s and I
People who
wasn't
have a
there.
stereotype of smelling not great.
Oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I meant like they were just like in Airstreams and like Volkswagens and minivans and whatever, road tripping. I just road tripped. No, and I said we, and then realized I wasn't there in the 70s and like
Just missed it.
just missed it.
So before we go any further, we do have a voicemail.
What?
Y'all ready for this?
Ba 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 ba.
Hey, John. Hey, Louise. This is Scott, John's brother, Louise's also brother. And I don't have an idea, but I have some thoughts based on a recent episode of the show. Number one, for Louise, you're talking about dinner mittens. Great idea. That's awesome. You should check out in an episode of the David Chang show on Netflix, Ugly Delicious. There is a fried rice episode. There's a guy in the episode. He's eating this lobster dish, and he's wearing these just thin plastic serving gloves, and they're not the powdered latex gloves. They're just clear plastic. I think that's what you got to do. Just get a box of those. Number two, John, you're talking about the car seat for the beta and how, it's in the car and it gets cold overnight. I don't know if this is logistically a nightmare for you since you're going to be holding a child in your hand while you're putting it in the car seat. But is it possible to just bring the car seat in the house overnight so that it's like a normal temperature car seat? And then maybe you put the baby in the seat and then put the whole thing in the car? I'm not sure. Those seats are complicated, so that's above my pay grade. Anyway, just throwing some thoughts at you, throwing some love at you. Keep the ideas coming. Smoochy, smoochy.
Thank you very much, Scott, for calling in. If you want to call in, it's 304-804-IDEA. You leave a voicemail. We talk about it. I'm going to start. Is that okay?
Go.
Okay. The car seat situation, and Scott doesn't have kids. I totally get why he might not know how this goes down. He does understand that they are complicated. So installing a car seat is a pain in the butt. If you don't do it just right, then it's try again. You've done it wrong. It's a gigantic hassle to do that. For infants, like super babies, yes, you can. There's a base that goes in, and then you detach the actual car seat part and you bring that in. But for older babies, then no, that is in there. And for anybody who does do this type of thing where they take it out every single time, man, oh man, that's got to take a lot of time out of your day. But I appreciate that you called and you contributed to the conversation. I did chat with Scott recently, and he said that whenever he is listening, he always just wants to like chime in. And he is one of our very few people who has actually come on to the podcast. So maybe he just got a taste of that sweet, sweet medicine and just can't get enough.
Yeah. I was like, let's get him on again.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we totally should.
I'll go.
Whenever we...
now.
Yeah, you'll go. I was just about to say, though, Scott is actually going to be in town.
What?
So I know that like he lives in your town, and it would be much easier to to do that with you. But maybe we can try to figure something out.
Cool.
All right. So the dinner mittens.
Yeah. I feel like that was the whole thing about like the plastic gloves was that I didn't want disposable. I wanted something
Right.
that I could have. Although, like, it really, really tickled me pink when he was like, hey, I'm John's brother, and I'm also Louise's brother. Because
Yeah.
that just, like,
Honorary. Yeah.
honorary sibling. It just made my heart so warm.
Yeah. Louise, you're part of the family. It's like, no duh.
No
You're there.
duh.
No duh. Speaking of family, we have an email. If you have an idea for us that you want to email, the email address is greatideapod@gmail.com or greatideapodcast@gmail.com. Both of them work. Or if you want to call, again, the number is 304-804-IDEA. But as I said, speaking of family, we have an email from Louise's mother.
What? Okay.
Subject line, fashion? With a question mark. And she says, I think manufacturers of clothes should give you a small swatch of the material, maybe the size of the cleaning tag sewn into a seam, which could easily be removed. It would be a help to carry around with you when trying to match shoes, clutches, hats, gloves, just about any accessory. Color and texture at your fingertips. Mare. That is truly a great idea.
It truly is.
You could, just have like your own little like separate wallet for the materials of your wardrobe.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I love it.
Especially like right on the tag on the inside that you could just detach so you didn't have to bring the whole garment with you.
Yeah.
Mayor, we should call this cut from the same cloth because you are my mom and it is a clothing thing.
Done. Episode title. Figured out. Great. Cut from the same cloth. That, Mare, thank you so much for emailing. You don't even realize how much we appreciate it. And thank you for continuing to listen, even though sometimes your daughter says some not nice things about you.
I always say nice things. Well, true things.
She tells a lot of truths that may be a little hard to swallow sometimes.
They aren't. Mare is bulletproof.
She is a great sport. I really appreciate it. If you are not in our families, you are also welcome to write or call us. But Scott, Mare, thank you so much for contributing to the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Super appreciate it.
Yeah. What a great idea. I still can't get over it.
It's a really good idea. I wouldn't be too surprised if there was like one company out there who's doing something like that, but that maybe it's the kind of thing where it's like maybe it's happening but people aren't realizing it, like a lot of jackets and stuff will have like an extra button like sewn into the inside,
Right.
where it's like, maybe some of them do have little fabric swatches there also that you're just not realizing because you don't even think about that kind of stuff.
I'm going to start looking, though.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. Get on it, Mare. What a great idea. Sorry, Scott.
So-
I know you think all of the ideas that are called in we think are great, but that really is.
Well, I just poo-pooed Scott's idea to take the car seat in every single time.
That's
So-
true. That's true.
Fair enough. So let's see. does Mare's daughter have another idea that's as great as Mare's idea?
I don't know if it's as great, but like, let me give it a go. It is first world, programmable shower.
Huh.
Sometimes I want to get in and I want there to be like a red light. It's not hot enough. And then like a green light, get on in. It's great. And I feel like as my showers progress, I often want to tap the temperature down so that it's like significantly cooler when I'm about to get out. Just, I don't know, that seems to be my preference.
To ease you back into the real world?
I guess, yeah. And I think that other people have different preferences. Not that you know, whatever, you can't adjust your water, but sometimes if you adjust like too much, then you're burning your own skin off your body. Or
right.
If you are the first person in your household to take a shower, the amount of hot water that is available
right.
to you might be different than the second. But if you could program it, it feels like it would be much more efficient. Second comment on why this might be a good idea. Sometimes I lavish in a half-hour shower, and sometimes I need 5 minutes. Like, I gotta, like, get clean and get out. And if I had my programmed temperature arc, then I could adjust the timing so that when I knew, ooh, it's getting colder, I gotta quick finish up because I gotta get out, it might be a nice, you know, swift kick in the pants about the timing of like, you got to keep going without having to have a waterproof clock in your shower or like keep looking at your watch on your whatever bathroom stand or whatever. So yeah, programmable showers.
I like the idea a lot. I have a not similar in that it's about showers, but a programmable bathroom solution.
Ooh.
I know. We're in the flow.
We are.
This is how it happens. So I feel like as a whole, humankind uses way too much TP.
Yes.
This does not necessarily go for those who are bidaniacs. But for the people, mostly Americans, who are toilet paper focused, we use too much of it. It's bad for the environment. It's not kind to your bottoms. And you know what? There must be a better way. So aside, if you are still going to use it, though, I feel like there needs to be like a programmable or like an electronic toilet paper dispenser that gives you the appropriate amount for what you need it for.
I like it.
So, yeah, not going to get too graphic here, but like, I don't know if there's something that does like takes like a reading of what happens in there and it gives you the appropriate amount, or if it's like you press a button that's like, you know, it was a no problem situation, then it's like, here's just enough to get you, you know, tidied up. But like,
I also think that maybe if it's going to program it out for you, you could even have like a back button so that it rolls it, it rewinds it for you. If it's like, this is what I think you need, and then you're like, nah, that's not what I need. I need less.
I feel like most people are prone to think they need more than they
less.
do. Hard to say. Oh, some of my icons were just bouncing. I don't know what was going on there. I just wanted to make sure I was still recording.
Yeah.
I'm still recording. We're
I
good.
also think, like, what if you have a puppy? Obviously, not Daisy. And obviously, not my road dog. But if you have a puppy, or, I'm just going to say it, an asshole cat, sometimes they just play with it.
You know, so this goes into a different territory. And my question for you, Louise, and I think I know the answer based on what you were just miming, but when it comes to putting toilet paper rolls in, are you a front or back facing
I'm
situation?
an over the top. Is that front?
Over the top. I think we've talked about that. Yeah, over the top.
Yeah.
I have been, the more I think about it, the more I realize why it could be appealing to do a behind the back, because if there's like a kid or a dog or an asshole cat who's like kind of pawing at it or batting at it, it's only just going to flip around a bunch and it's not going to let anything fall off the front.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my only thought about when you would want to have it go behind the back.
Right. So wait, are you changing your mind, or were you always a behind the back person?
Never been a behind the back person, but I'm going to wait and see what this kid decides is her preferred form of entertainment.
Nice.
If she's one of the people who does that, then it's going behind the back.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great idea. Also, I know it's a podcast, so people couldn't see my face, but when you said Bedaniac, I lost it.
Well, I was going to say bidet maniac, but then I was like, let's just contract this and
Portmanteau.
call it a day.
Yes. That was a great idea.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can check that one off there. Let's see. We're just kind of blasting through these.
I know.
Oh, in my notes, I just said situational TP dispenser. Should we each do one more and then get to the challenges?
Let's do it.
All right. I think it's your go.
It's me, and it's not a good segue, so I'm just gonna like jump to it.
Man, I just saw that hand flash in front of the screen. That ring is insane.
Thank you.
By the way, if anyone's confused, Louise and I record this in 2 different cities on the other side of the country, and we do it over Skype. And yeah, so that's why I see Louise on a screen.
Did I not send you a picture?
I saw a picture that you posted online, but it's not like a close-up one.
Okay, I'll send you a close-up one. That was the first thing I think my mom asked me, was like, there's no picture of the ring. I was like, yeah, I'm not a trite asshole who like posts only that.
Wait.
Because the emphasis is my relationship.
Obviously.
What were you going to say? Wait, though.
Oh, I was just going to say, were you just calling your mom a trite asshole?
No, I was saying that one of my biggest pet peeves in like engagement photos or whatever is when people are like putting their arms out and they're out of focus in the back, but the ring's like in the front of the picture, and I'm like, ugh. I know people do want to see it, but probably just when they see you in person.
Right. It's not what it's about.
It's not what it's about.
It's about the relationship.
Yes, and people have like different opinions about things that are beautiful, things that are, whatever, traditional, ornate, size, like metal, color, like whatever. And it's like there's too much else happening in the world. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I grew up with like not a terrible group of girlfriends, but I really feel like middle school and like elementary school made me only want to be best friends with boys.
Oh, see, what's funny is I was like pretty much only, for the most part, only friends with girls, but they weren't like super, girly in the, stereotypical sense of the word.
You meet in the middle.
They were a bunch of goofball weirdos.
Right. That's who I gravitate to anyway. But thank you for noticing. Okay. The app, which doesn't have a name yet, is
another app.
Yes, of course. App City. It's a flower identifying app. So you could like be somewhere and be like, ooh, I really like that flower. And put instead of a face recognition, it's a flower recognition. And then it could give you a few little blurbs like, this is the state flower for Iowa. This is, the most traditional color of this flower. It only grows in these kind of climates. And you can sort of learn a little bit about horticulture.
Okay, Louise, I have 2 apps. One of them is called PlantNet, and the other one is called Garden Answers.
Oh,
And I believe that this is
goodness.
what they do. Okay, Garden Answers. Yeah, so here's Garden Answers. I don't know how much you can see there.
yeah.
But one of them is take a photo of your plant. I don't remember if this one like identifies it right away or if you submit it and then they're just like, oh, that's a daffodil, you dum-dum.
Okay.
PlantNet has a little magnifying glass in the bottom that has a camera thing. I don't know if I've ever used this one, but it might be able to identify it. I don't know. I'll have to try it out later. But
I also
yeah, 'cause-
saw a block for Ask a Horticulturist. Did you say that?
right. I don't think so, but that's a really cool feature too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh,
All
that's
right.
that's a paid service, and it says it's about $2, and we'll answer your questions within 24 hours. If we are unable to identify your plant, you'll receive a credit for your next plant ID.
Wow.
Very cool. So this is a plug for Garden Answers and PlantNet.
Nice. Okay, yeah. I gotta admit, and if you are a regular listener to this cast, we don't do research normally before. I
No.
should have known that this was a thing already, but
Well, that just means it's a good idea because someone else has done it.
that's true.
Yeah. My last one, it's an idea for a TV show, but I guess it could also be an app. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to talk about it as if I'm talking about a TV show, but it could be transferred into app language if you really wanted. It's a show called Consolidate, and it's a dating show for people that have kids. So you're combining your families together.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's like, find yourself a little Brady Bunch situation. Or a step-by-step situation, depending on which generation you identify with television-wise.
Nice.
But I guess if it was an app, it'd just be the same thing as like any other dating app, except like your kids would be
Yeah.
a pretty big component
like-
of it. And not just like, and by the
Yes.
way, I've got
Ooh,
kids.
I like it.
Yeah, because I suppose that's a tricky thing if you are like using a dating app or website and you see a picture and it's like the person with a kid and it's like, is that person's kid or is that a friend's
Right.
kid? Is it a niece or a nephew? But if it's Consolidate, then you're just like, oh, that's
Yeah.
probably that person's kid, which is why they're on this
Right.
particular
Oh my
app
God, that's
or
brilliant.
website.
I was also thinking, like, it could be also an interesting two separate families, both with children, that would go into like a timeshare or a vacation home together. Like, you want to rent out that house because it's so close to the beach for those 2 weeks, but
Right.
also you don't need 5 bedrooms. And it would be really cool if you could
Right.
like somehow find and then cultivate a little bit of a relationship with people with similar interests so that you could go in on something like that. But that's next level. That might even be a completely separate idea.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, there are going to be some like, I know that Airbnbs, you can search for stuff where it's like a shared,
Oh, you can?
unit. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Louise.
I know. I'm like behind the times. Like, what's happening?
You're behind the times.
I know.
What
Okay,
have you been
wait.
doing?
I have a question about Consolidate.
Consolidate?
Yeah. Do you both have to have children?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking, like, what if you are a lady and you would like to be a
Oh.
mother, but you haven't had that?
Or you can't. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
No. Okay. Yeah. I suppose that could be one option.
Okay.
Where
a
it's
filter.
like
A filter.
a filter where you're just like, I am a one-person unit looking to join a multi-person unit.
Nice.
Yes.
Right.
And vice versa.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a mother for my kids. Straight up.
Straight
but
up.
then but that's when you find the people who are just looking to join a pre-existing family.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're making it happen. Great. Never mind, we don't follow through on any of these. But if you are interested in making these things happen, go ahead. We are giving you permission.
Do it.
Yeah. You can. This podcast holds up in a court of law.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, play it and just be like, this is my idea now because I've been given permission from Louise and John.
Yep. I mean, I'm still holding out for that Baskin's hummus.
Oh, yeah.
I am.
31 flavors of hummus all in one place. I recently saw a picture of like dessert hummuses. I know that's the same look I have in my face, which is disappointment.
Yeah.
Annoyance, which is just like, no, it's a savory snack. Don't put chocolate chips in your hummus.
No.
Yeah.
I wonder, well, I don't know.
Would I try it? Yes, 100%.
Absolutely.
But that's not what we're doing here.
No. I mean, it probably is delicious, but I feel like, and this is never having even tried it, I can house a family-sized container of hummus, regular hummus, pine nuts hummus, in one sitting.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if I did that to chocolate chip hummus, I would have a tummy ache.
It'd be really bad.
Right?
It'd be real, real bad. Yeah.
I feel like it would be real bad.
When I open up a container of hummus and I don't eat the entire thing, I'm really proud of myself.
Tiny accomplishments.
If you want to see a guy walking on sunshine thinking that they have willpower, then that is me after I've just eaten like 60% of a container of hummus rather than 100%. But usually after I get past 50%, I'm just like, well, next time I'm going to be bummed that there's not like more.
Yep.
So I may as well just finish this. It's really bad.
Well, or good.
Or good, depending on
Or good.
how you want to look at it. I guess you could say that about anything. I don't remember what I challenged you to the
Ooh.
last episode.
Okay. You
What was it?
gave me prison.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Shout out to all of our prison pals out there one more time.
So,
Because our last few phone calls were from the prison system.
which I'm still sort of working through. How did they get our number? What's the
See,
internet access?
one of them I think could have been a mistake, but then there was another one that I'm like, this one doesn't seem like it's an accident.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I had a couple ideas. First of all, I hate the prison system. I hate almost everything
Ugh.
about it. It's the
It's
worst.
awful.
I don't know why it can't be changed. I don't like that each individual state gets to make its own choices about stuff. I don't like that after laws change, people who were originally convicted for those things, like, too bad, tough titty, you got to sit in there, even though other people are walking around doing the thing that you did and got in trouble for. Like,
First, but time out, Louise. I'm going to have to mark this episode explicit. We've said asshole. You just said tough titty.
Okay.
I don't know if this is going to fly with our all ages audience. We're going to
Okay.
mark this episode explicit.
Okay.
That means the leash is off. The
leash
cage
is
is
off.
open.
yeah,
Let's go crazy.
I feel like that's what vacation does to me. I lose all restraint. I lose all restraint. So anyway, also the idea that there is no like redemption or change is ridiculous to me. Obviously, and I hate to say it in this way because maybe 98% of me calls bullshit on all of social talks about mental health. But if there is a situation where that is actually the thing, and also this is not like a, your femur is broken, we need to reset it type of thing, like mental health diagnosis is ever changing and fluid, and papers are being written, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, but I don't think reintegration is appropriate for maybe everyone, but I also don't want to be the person to make that choice. People act in the heat of the moment. People make mistakes when they're young and stupid and are under a lot of pressure. Someone can be a Wall Street banker and really, really, really damage a lot of lives and systems and get a severance for being fired from their multi-million-dollar a year job, and that's fucking bullshit. Explicit episode. So
lean into it.
Yeah, now I'm really on fire. I want there to be sort of like self-care, wellness, reintegration, community services courses that inmates can do that also like give them physical contact, that give them pride and accomplishment, that give them hobbies that can make their lives a little more fulfilling. Now, I didn't have this idea, but somebody else did, that you take rescue dogs that seem like they could really just use a bunch of training, and they have a partnership with a prison system, and then the inmates cultivate relationships with these dogs and help rehabilitate them, and then they become like service dogs that go and help other people, and that's something that's going to allow them joy and physical contact that they're not going to be beat up for or whatever. I don't know, but that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I also think there's a lot of misconceptions about not misconceptions, that's the wrong word, but there's all you do in prison is like go to the gym or like do push-ups or in the yard when you're outside, or like run around and you like beef up and whatever. There should be yoga programs that they can do.
Oh yeah.
And then not
I'm sure that some do.
I hope so.
Like I'm sure that there are some that do that kind of thing.
I hope so, because there's like Chris and I have been doing yoga. It was one of our New Year's resolutions this year.
Oh, cool.
We've basically done it every single day since January 1st, except one day when we went on a ski trip and we were basically like skiing all day, and we were like, should we do yoga or did that count as physical activity? And then
I think you're good.
Yeah. And then one day of vacation because, hey, it's vacation. But we did it every other day of vacation.
That's impressive.
Yeah. When I went away for work last week, we planned out the yogas, and then he did them in New York and I did them where I was. So we still did them even though not together. Okay, so yoga. And not only that, but I've noticed like a difference in how I manipulate my breathing. I've noticed a difference in like other calmness. There's a weird sense of accomplishment when I am like, wow, that yoga thing that we did in January, I was like, this is really tough. And now that it's the end of March, I'm like, I'm getting better. And it's so simple. Okay, next thing, hair braiding courses. Like, I know that seems really weird, but there's like something you can do, something tangible that you can see, something that gets you physically touching another person. I listened to this podcast called Ear Hustle. It's part of, I think, Radiotopia, and it's produced by a radio producer on the outside and an inmate on the inside of the prison system. And so she goes into the prison system with like the recording stuff, and they have little segments and they talk about things, and it's about like prison slang, or one of the episodes this season was called Firsts, where they talk about like the first time you get a visit. Or,
that's cool.
and so one guy said in the most recent episode I listened to that he was sort of moved around in the prison system, and that made it like nearly impossible for family to come visit him because he was so far away, and they didn't have a ton of money to go travel and like whatever to see him. And it had been like 10 years since he'd seen his mom. And that when leading up to the visit, because he knew she was coming, he was like, I don't remember how to hug. Do I put my arms like over her neck? Do I go in like 45-degree angles, like one up, one down? And he's like, it's my mom. Why don't I know how to hug her? And one of the interviewers was like, did you practice? And he's like, absolutely not. I practiced in my brain. Like, you can't practice that with people that you're in prison with. Like, you can maybe only do that with your cellmate because you're not allowed to maybe touch the other inmates. And then it made me think of rewind an episode
Consolidate. I'm just kidding.
No. An episode of, I think it was This American Life, that I was listening to about these women somewhere who started to give manicures to each other. I'm trying to think of where it was, but I can't. And it all of a sudden opened up this trust, this idea of like just different kind of integrity or pride, because someone was helping you do something very small to like relax you or make you feel better, or like something that you can do to yourself, but it doesn't feel as good, like when you go get your hair cut and they shampoo for you. I can shampoo my own hair, but when someone else does it, it's amazing.
It's so great.
It's amazing. So then I thought, add those two things together, maybe they can do like nursing home field trips, because those people need pedicures, and maybe there could be inmate mani-pedi day. And then I thought about also gardening, and I thought a lot of times I feel like prisons are too big, not the actual living quarters.
Facility.
Yeah, not the living quarters of the inmates, but the actual facility. In the town that's adjacent to the town that I grew up in, they built a brand new like prison, and it was just like a bunch of people coming in, and then it was like the hotels booked more people staying there, and it like boomed the economy because when people would come to visit and whatever.
Right.
But why not add, this is the longest challenge like explanation, but I'm really fascinated by these. A bunch of ideas. Why don't we pair prisons and like recycling facilities?
I was just thinking about this, like, I don't know where you're going with this yet, but the idea of combining the prison system and the recycling system. Go on.
Because someone has to sort like green plastic versus clear plastic. I'm sure there's like machines that do that as well, but that would, be sort of like work. It would also like make the days go by, because as I'm listening to Ear Hustle, they're like, sometimes I feel like I go 4 or 5 months without uttering words to people.
Yeah.
And this at least would be like, whoa, did you see that thing? And I don't know, like, I think that people would get nervous about like metal cans, or there's always something. But then, as I was thinking through this, because the sorting has to happen and whatever else, and recycling, and that's good for the community as well. Why not, as I was thinking, then also integrate the prison system with maybe a hydroponics plant or an aquaponics plant, because that would be, things need to be harvested. Things need to be looked after. You need to like keep doing pH testing on the water or the fish, and then it's sustainable. And then it's also kind of like maybe something that you didn't think about before you entered the prison system. Let's say you entered when you were like 17, maybe you didn't graduate high school. You can obviously in prison get your GED, but maybe you didn't even know that this was something you were really passionate about.
Right.
And I just think things like that would benefit everyone. Like the idea that someone somewhere fucked up once, or 2, 3, 4 times. I'm just saying, like,
Sure.
there's
didn't.
or didn't,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna put them in a tiny box.
It's awful.
Side note, but similar idea. As we were driving to the airport in Phoenix, there was a place called, like, I don't know, Aqualand or Seabreeze Phoenix or something. And there's like a dolphin experience.
Oh, okay.
And we went to lunch at this place called Sugar Bowl, and I saw a kid have a paper wristband that said like dolphins on it, and I about had a heart attack in the restaurant. And then we drove past it, but I was like, where the hell are dolphins right now? And I don't know if it was just like that dolphins are so smart, or like, I don't know why, like a SeaWorld in Virginia or Florida is somehow better than like an experience in Phoenix. Like, that is not computing also.
No,
but
these things shouldn't exist.
These things should not exist. No. And so the fact that we think that that's fun or exciting, or like the animals are treated really well, the tanks are really big, and they get fish. Like, no joke, they're going to go insane. And the same thing makes my heart bleed about people. What makes you think that if you put a being in a tiny space, that they will think about what they've done and heal themselves?
Right.
No.
Yeah, no. Not at all.
Not at all.
No. There needs to be a way to, if people are in there who deserve to be, I don't know, disciplined for a crime, because there are plenty of people who are there who didn't do anything at all wrong, and they're just being disciplined for nothing.
Yeah.
But for those who did something wrong, there needs to be empathy training. There needs to be something that makes them connect more with people, not something that's going to turn them against people.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was just my long-winded, like a million different things I was thinking about, because
we could talk about this all day, every day.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And maybe we
My
should.
challenge was
everyone
jorts.
should. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
No. I'm sorry. The juxtaposition between these two topics is insane. No, you're right. It's things that people should be talking about, and not just, thinking, oh, that person's a criminal, put them behind bars, they're done. It's not that kind of situation. Moving on.
So jorts.
My challenge was jean shorts. Shorts made of denim, cutoffs, if they maybe are cut off from regular jean pants. Okay, so I think that there's like really two types of people. There's three. There's the people who, they buy the jean shorts, and, it's part of the culture. Maybe it's more of a functional thing where it's just like, it's hot out, but, jeans are the way to go with what you're doing on a given day. Maybe they are cut off. Maybe it's a fashion thing. And then there's just like the camp of people who are very much opposed to jeans as shorts. But either way, we need to bring all of these people together. Am I right?
I feel it. We
need to have a worldwide... I'm going to bring this up when I go to the UN next, where everybody's all together. When I go there, I'm just going to be like, hey, guys, we got to talk about jorts. Or maybe they're listening to this podcast in their sessions, it's being translated by, everyone from all the different countries. We need to agree that we have to make this acceptable, functional, and fashionable. And I think that it just needs to seep into all of our culture. as an acceptable thing. Children's books need to have more characters in jorts.
Yes.
On the news, put your anchors in jorts. It just needs to be everywhere, because the more acceptable it is, the easier all of our lives will be. Jorts on dogs. Can we get a jorts on dogs chant going?
Jorts on dogs.
Everybody in your
Jorts on
cubicles or on
dogs.
your way to work, chant jorts on dogs. I don't know. Jorts was a really weird one. I was because like, what ideas can you really have? Like, jorts are the kind of thing that they just are. You know, revolutionizing them, there's really nothing more that can be done. The only other thought that I had is that if you are perhaps a denim pant manufacturer, maybe having some sort of different method of creating your pants, so that when like the knees wear out, or something's the cuffs or something, they get worn, that they are easier to convert into jorts rather than having too much extra stuff fraying around, or you get uneven jort lines. Maybe if there's just like a guideline on the inside that's like the preferred cutting zone.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That was the only other
I was
thing.
just gonna say, sometimes you have a great pair of pants, and like you say, the knee wears out, and you're like, I should totally make these shorts. And you go to cut them, only you can't cut them straight, because when you put them on your body and it moves funny, then the back's
all
higher
weird.
than the front.
Yeah.
Or let's say you're, a teen or a preteen, and you want a different like style cut so that it looks different on your body
Right.
than, say, a soccer mom.
Right.
So you can't like cut the same way because, or you want the inseam longer or shorter,
Right.
or denim is really difficult to cut
It is.
unless you have proper scissors. So I agree with you. This was a super weird one.
This is well, that's another.
But a
this is
guideline on the
on the
inside.
inside, yeah,
Brilliant.
And this is also something that, like, anybody who's trying to design stuff over at like 3M or something, maybe a pair of Fiskars, maybe a pair of scissors that are designed for denim. I'm sure that some exist that we just don't know about, but maybe they're just only sold in like Michaels or Joanne Fabrics or something, and they're not.
We're just
where
gonna
people would
nudge
normally get.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to nudge them to maybe amp up on the marketing of those.
I think so.
Or
Huh?
I just had another idea.
Okay.
Maybe it could be something that, like, your local library. Probably weird because it's a library, but that's just the place where I thought, like, you could check out a pair of like denim scissors.
Where I live in Portland, Oregon, different areas of town each have a tool library. So
Yes.
yeah, so that could be a good thing for the tool library.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a thought.
Cool.
My challenge for the next episode for you, Louise,
Okay.
is I got married in my early 30s. I had everything that one would need. So registering for gifts seemed silly because it's like, we already have a rice cooker. We already have this. We already have that. You've been with Chris for coming on 8 years. You guys, you've been living with each other for a large part of that time. Like, you have what you need. So,
got it.
right. I know. And there are wedding registries for things like honeymoon stuff or house, down payment, stuff like that. But like, I want to hear a fresh wedding registry idea.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, I hope it comes to me in a dream. Because I don't know how I'm going to think about this. Actually, and if you want to know like the 100% truth about all of this is that I basically reject all like thought or planning of this, whereas I feel like most girls are like, I can't wait to decide on a
Oh,
color
yeah,
palette
totally.
and flowers and all this, and I'm like,
Oh,
somebody else do it and I'll just show up.
yeah. Oh, totally. So
But cool. Okay, I
yeah,
hope it comes
wait,
to me.
you just you just said I hope it comes to me in a dream. Speaking of things that come to people in dreams, listen to our other podcast, Louise It to Beaver, that came to me in a dream and we made a reality. It's our podcast all about the television show Leave It to Beaver. Daisy, come here. Sorry, Daisy's whining. Something is going on.
She loves Leave It to Beaver.
She's such a big fan of Leave It to Beaver. Although she's just like, what happened to like all of their pets? They show up for like half an episode and then they vanish.
It's true.
Anyway.
Girl, we're thinking about the same things. So yeah, give that a listen. Rate it on iTunes. Tell everybody who you think might like it about it.
Yeah.
My challenge for you,
Uh-huh.
fresh off of vacation, suitcases.
Oh, okay. There's a lot. I feel like I'm reading a lot of stuff about suitcase innovations. Like, and we could talk more about this in the next one, but I know that now there's a suitcase that I don't know if it uses like Bluetooth or something, but like basically it follows you. Like you don't even have to like touch it and it just kind of like moves with you.
Whoa.
Yeah, it just kind of like rolls around. I don't know. It's very space age, and like I would never
Very
get
space
one
age.
because I'd be like, someone's gonna steal this like immediately.
I also feel like I'm a really fast walker. What's the speed on this suitcase?
This is for saunterers.
I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, all right, we got our challenges down. The next episode comes out whenever it comes out. Be patient, people. Thank you all for listening. Rate, review, subscribe, etc., etc., etc. Listen to Louise It to Beaver.
You can get cool gift things if you
Yeah.
donate to our Patreon page.
Patreon.com/greatidea-pod. I've got a box full of little great idea journals collecting dust.
I too have
Hop
that.
on over. Listen to Louise to Beaver. Call us 304-804-IDEA and leave us your great ideas on a voicemail and we'll play them on the show. Or email us greatideapod@gmail.com. What are the other things that we need to talk about? I think that pretty much covers all of our bases.
I think we're covered.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, Louise.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't see it happening.